Hello, my name is Seraphim, and today we're going to be going over the comparison between the 1851 Navy, 1858 New Model Army, and the 1860 Army. Alright, we're going to start off by looking over the sights and how they work. Now let's start with the 1858. The 1858 is has really nice sights on it. You can see the front sight post on it is raised higher than the other ones. As you can see right here, it's just a little nub. This one has a whole ass blade on it. Since these guns shoot high, this will be a more accurate gun. And plus the rear sight on it, as you can see, maybe you can't see that, but it's a better sighting system because you have to look through a whole ass groove, and then you see a front sight post that matches better to where this gun shoots. Let's talk about the 51 Navy and the 1860 Army together, because they have the exact same sights, pretty much. As you can see, this one's more of like a low blade, while this one's like a shotgun style nub. And then when you cock the gun, the sights are actually on the back there. You see the little notches there? That's where the rear sight is. And since they're so low and these guns shoot high, unlike the 58 that compensated for that, these don't. So if you don't know what you're doing, you can't hit a broadside of a barn with this fucking shit. Like, I went out shooting these and I couldn't really, I don't think I hit anything once with these. But the 58 Army, I was being pinpoint accurate with these sights. These ones suck. This one's good. I don't like these sights. I like this sight. There we go. Moving on to the loading levers. These things. Which one is the best? Well, let's start off with the 51 Navy and see how bad that does. This one is the stiffest. To be fair, I did get the 5.5 barrel on it, so that might be why it sucks. But I also got the 5-inch barrel on the 51 Navy, or the 1858 New Model Army. I had no trouble loading this one, but this one I have trouble with. I need a tool to really load this one properly. In my opinion, the 1858 has a better design because you can, you can make it shorter and it still works properly without the needing of a tool. Like in this case, and I'm sure this case, I got the full size for the 1860. I got the full size 1860. So I didn't really have any trouble with this, but if it was shorter, I've seen it before. Like it cuts off to about right here, something like that. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be as much of a bitch to load as this one is. So in my opinion, this one has the better loading lever. As well as, I don't know if I wrote it down here on my talking points, but just loading it in general is easier on this. Because you see those grooves right there? That makes it easier to put a fucking bullet in the fucking gun than it is with like one of these Colts. Like, you really have to put it in a certain spot in order to get into it. This one has such much more wiggle room to put a bullet in than the Colts do. Alright, moving on to the cylinders. The cylinder is this part right here, this whole ass chunk of metal where the chambers are. You can see that. Now, I will say, let's start at the nipples and go on to the chambers. Starting with the 1860 right here. The 1860 honestly has amazing nipples. Would you imagine that? God, I'm gonna sound like such a pervert for a second, but you know, these have good nipples on them, or cones. I should call them cones. Fuck. But the cones on these are they hold percussion caps a lot better than the nipples on the 1858. And this is new out of the box. I know I can change these, so these don't really matter as much. But out of the box, the nipples on the 1860 and the 1851 hold them better. Now, when it comes to actually shooting them, though, I noticed this one hang fires every time. This one always hang fires. It's like a. It's like that. Every time. Well, this one, I'd be surprised if it even fucking shot. That's how bad the holes in them are. But they hold them better, so that's something. And to be fair, when I say that, I only say that because there's only one cone on this that does not hold the percussion cap well. Like, I do this, and it just falls off. It's that bad. But it's only on one of them. Only one does that. Where these, all of them, hold them well. And also, the Colts, they have more beautiful, I doubt you can see that, but it'll fucking focus. You can't fucking see it, but it has a battle shit on it. Like you can, it has like a battle diorama all around it. Same on this one. Whereas the 1858, it is just smooth. There is nothing there. The cylinders on the Colts are more beautiful, but looks don't count for everything. I, for one, actually like simplicity. I like the. I appreciate the work that went into this, but I know I like that. I don't really care that much about it. And then let's go on to the chambers. The chambers on this one actually hold the round in the chamber like they're supposed to. This one does it. This one does it. And this one will fall out. These the rounds you load in these chambers will fall out if you just simply go like that. You flip it around or you shoot it. They will start shifting out of the chamber. And for that, I will say this one loses when it comes to cylinders. I would say this one wins if it actually shot, which is the most important part of having percussion caps on that. Like, what's the good of having them stay on there if you don't even fucking shoot? The one that goes loose on this one, I can just shoot first. So I have to say this one wins. Alright, moving on to frames. The frame on the 1858 is a top strap frame. It's this whole part right there. That is the frame. This one I like better. It has the sight, it has the front sight on it. You can't see it when the hammer's down, but it has the did I say front sight? Rear sight. It has the rear sight on it, which is a deeper groove to match up with this, which helps out with the sights, which are far superior in my opinion. It is a lot stronger than the Colts. I will say that much, because let's look at the Colts. The Colts, it's the same on the 51. This whole part is the frame, as well as the base pin that's inside of it. Like these, they're more open, and for a black powder gun, I will say this, they are cleaner than the 51, but they are also more prone to cap jams. Just by how they are, like, you can't, I've had this one get completely stuck on me multiple times, and they're more prone to cap jams. They are easier to clean, at least. But, you know, you just can't get past the fact that this thing jams more through the design that it has. Whereas the 58, it does not. It does not jam once. The only time it did have a cap jam on me is when I did this to cock the hammer, like what people say you're supposed to do. I did that and it got a cap jam on me. I shoot it like a normal person and it fucking worked. So I don't know. I shoot this and it jams on me. And if it doesn't jam on me, it probably won't shoot. Now I get this is kind of the nature of a beast when it comes to black powder guns. Like sometimes they just don't shoot. That happens on this one too. Not as often as this one. And to be fair, these are more new, so I probably just had to break them in more. But out of the box, this one shot 6 times the first time I shot it. Now it rarely does that. It usually shoots 5 more than 6, but this one has shot 6 times the first time I shot it. This one shot 3. This one shot 5, but now it doesn't even work anymore. Like the bolt on there, the bolt spring, does not work. So I either need to buy a new one or just sell this and get rid of it. That was the first time I shot that thing too, and it just stopped working. And by the way, these are all Pietas. All of these are Pieta reproductions. Just making that clear. I'm sure I would have lucked out better if I got Uberti, but you know me, I'm a cheap bitch, so I'm getting Pieta. But anyway, let's move on to hammers. Let's start with the 58 here. The 58 has a 2-click. See if you can hear that. It's got a 2-click design to it. Honestly, it works fine. I've never really had a problem with it. It's a bit stiff after the couple times I've shot it. I've shot this thing quite a bit, actually, but it's gotten stiff. I haven't taken it fully apart to clean it. I'm sure if I cleaned it, it would be fine, but honestly, it's not that stiff anyway, so I don't really feel the need to clean it yet. But these, it works fine. There's really nothing to write home about the hammers on this, other than the fact it is easier to get to than the Colts, because they have a big sweep up. Like, I find myself having to, like, put my hand back where the... Okay, I guess not, but I had my hand up. I don't know, I guess they're about the same, never mind. So it really comes down to more of the fact, like the coolness factor. And I guess the Colts win that one, because, listen to this. That is such a nice sound. It's like cracking your knuckles. I love that shit. That sounds so cool. I love that shit. It's so satisfying. When I'm like fucking around and shit, make sure this thing ain't loaded, and then I just, this is what I do with it. I just mess around with it and just, I fidget with it. Because this is like such a nice cracking your knuckles sound that you could just get every time. That sounds really nice. I really like that. Whereas the 58, it just kind of, it just does its job without any flair to it, you know? Which, you know, it doesn't really make me hate the gun, but you have to give props to Colt for having a nicer sound when you cock the hammer. Honestly, it doesn't make anything better. These are honestly pretty much the same. Actually, they kind of go out on the same angle. They're really the same. It doesn't matter. It just depends on what sound you like better when it comes to the hammer. So, do with that as you will. Now the trigger. The same thing about the hammer. Literally, they're fucking same. I guess you can argue, since the Colts do, they're off to the left a little bit. The triggers on this are off to the left. It really makes no fucking difference. I mean, say what you will about it, it makes no fucking difference. So, They both have really nice trigger pulls. They're all like 1 pound trigger pulls that are very crisp. You meet a, it's like there's no take up whatsoever. It's just a wall, and then it's a crisp let go, and then it fires. Very that leads to their accuracy, which if I knew how to shoot this thing, I would be accurate with. But again, this thing shoots wherever it wants to because these guns shoot high, and the sights do not accommodate for that. Which is why I like this gun better. But the hell was I saying? Right, the trigger. Yeah, there's really no fucking difference in the trigger. Like, they all feel exactly the same. They all shoot the same. It's just the Colts have it slightly to the left, and that really makes no difference. Even in the feel, it's barely a difference. Where this one is like a wider trigger that goes, that's like stays in the middle, if you can see that. It really doesn't matter. If that matters to you, you're a bit too picky about your guns. I'm just gonna say that. Which I guess you should be, but you know, it when it comes to something like that where it really makes no difference whatsoever, so what? You know, fuck. That thing is what to do. That thing's what think of you. That thing's what clears my soul. That thing's what makes me whole. Now the grips. They do feel different. This one matters. I'll say that much. This one matters. Like the 1858 grip, I like it. It fits good in your hand, but I will say the Colts knock it out of the park, especially with the 51 Navy, that grip. Yeah, this one's broken. Like, you don't hear anything in there. That's because the bolt doesn't work. Like, look at this. It actually worked. It actually fucking worked. Okay. There it is. This thing is fully locked back. I shouldn't be able to rotate it like I am, but it has a nice grip feel. At least we have that. Like, this thing feels the best out of all of them. It even has like little rattling sound with it. That sounds really cool. This one feels the best to me. It has a shorter grip. I don't have the largest hands, so I mean these gloves are medium, so but these have the best grips on me. They're a little bit shorter, so I pretty much have to hold it how I hold these anyway, and I get to the hammer very easy with this gun. The 1860 has a larger handle, which is good if you hold it like you're not going to need the hammer quickly, but it's really nice. I I have to hold it like the 51 to get to the hammer quickly. So this grip I do not like the most. It's not bad by any means, but at the same time, it's not the best out of all of these. These are actually it's like the worst out of all three of them. But it's not a bad. It's not horrible, and that's just my preference anyway. Just because I don't like the large grip. Now this one is the second best because of how big the grip is. I still get to everything fine on it. I don't have to hold it uber weird or really high up like this, like I kind of do on the 1860. But this one, it's like a good mid-maxer. You know, it's a good mid-maxer. Oh yeah, and something I didn't mention on the cylinders, I forgot how to say you can reload them. Look at this. And then just put it in your pocket, grab another one. This is a bit of a bitch to put back together. There we go. Power less than 30%. Fuck! Alright, my camera's starting to die, so I gotta finish this up quick. Yeah, you can't do that on the Colts. You can't really fucking do that unless you just rip that out back. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's a whole bitch. Don't fucking do it. Loading. I already talked about loading. It's easier to do it on this. My final thoughts. The 1858 blows the Colts out of the water in almost every single category that matters. That fucking matters. Colts are cooler, but if you were actually gonna fight with one of these for some fucking reason, you would want one of these. Just have extra cylinders. You can shoot better with it. Like, what else do I really have to fucking say? Like, these are just so much better as a pistol than the Colts are in any way that matters. These are better. These are better. Just get one of these. If you're getting into black powder and you want a black powder revolver, get yourself one of these. That is my recommendation. Either get the 8-inch or the 5.5-inch, like what I got here, the sheriff's model is what it's called. Get one of these. You will not be disappointed, my friend. You will not be disappointed. At least if yours is like mine. Maybe you get a lemon. I don't know. But these are the best pistols when it comes to black powder revolvers. Get yourself one of these. And that's it for today. Thanks again for watching, and again, thank you.